Welcome to the More You Look podcast.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the More You Look podcast. I remain the same. My name is Femi Anthony. I've got this troublemaker here, Sky. What's up?
Yeah, I'm good. Welcome everyone to another episode of the More You Look.
On this episode, we have a beautiful friend of the show. She's an artist. Most of you will probably know her. Well, in the UK scene. What's good, Tipsy? What's good?
Don't Olamide.
Yeah, I know.
Harrison.
Yeah, we will come to that. Yeah. So, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yay!
What's good, man? It's good to see you finally. You know, we've been signing forms.
Obviously, there's been COVID for the last year.
Exactly. And we have to keep to the government guidelines.
Okay.
But thanks for coming on the show anyway.
Thank you very much.
Before we dive in, Tipsy, where does that name? Where did you get that name from?
Well, start with, I don't actually drink. I don't do none of that. But I think that I'm naturally hyperactive. So I think it just works.
High of life. Tipsy of life.
Absolutely.
That is dope. Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
I'm an artist and I've got a regular job too. Just so you don't want to hustle every day. I started music a while ago. I've been kind of in and out of music though, because it takes a lot to do music. Mentally, financially, it takes a whole lot. And when you do it by yourself, it's harder. It's harder. So, but when you love something, no matter how much you say to yourself, I'm done, you still find yourself going back to it because you just do it for the love, not for the money. So that's just me.
Yeah, and for people who probably don't know, you were part of the DJC 419 squad at the time.
The big boys.
Yeah, the big boys, yeah.
Wow. You know what? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you now.
Now I've become a fan because I used to be a big fan of the JJC.
JJC is amazing.
419 boys.
But our one was a lot different from 419. Ours was like the younger generation of the JJC 419 one. Ours was big boys with Lil Mace, Two Chris,
exactly.
Lexi, TVO. It was amazing. It was fun. We were like a family, like a band, but it's just what it is. No more, So, but everybody's good. Everybody's cool. Everybody's doing well. So that's the most important.
You're still close with most of the guys.
Absolutely. That's my family.
Yeah,
like always.
I think you did a song with Two Chris a while back as well too.
The song that we've all got together is the Shengbomi Dada featuring Ice Prince and MI.
I was going to come to that. I was going to ask what kind of what genre of music do you create?
I said 3-4 years ago, and I told you straight up, brother, you couldn't tell me nothing. You can't tell me anything with rap, yeah? But now I see the market has changed. People want to dance. People just, the amazing part of being an artist is the fact that you can switch up your style to suit the market. And even for me, myself, a lot of times I don't want to listen to rap music. I want to dance. So I can switch. So I'm a versatile artist,
He's a massive rap fan anyways. That's one thing about him,
I mean, I'm just a lover of music. Yeah, but I'm deeply
I think you're more into rap.
That's why you look like LFJ.
People don't understand the reason why I'm wearing this hat today, because I'm sure people will think, why are we wearing that? I'm not even bald.
Oh, I thought you were
I actually had an injection.
Okay, yeah.
So I had just a tiny little bit of allergic reaction on my forehead. There's a bit of a rash on there. So I thought, I don't want that to show on camera. So what do we do?
But now you've told us about it. Now
you know, but you won't see.
Can we see
Anyways, before we move on from Tipsy, is there any latest song that we should be vibing to, we should be listening to?
Absolutely. The last song that I kind of did, that I put out there, was my song with Q Dot.
Yeah. Oh, is it Q Dot Alabi?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've been a fan of Q Dot since he started. And, it's remained my friend, and for me to have a song with him on it is amazing. And I really love that song. It's called Rora. So it's the remix of it that I put Q Dot on.
So, our viewers, please listen, stream.
How can people find your music?
Just type Tipsy Nigeria. It's easy to find.
Yeah,
On
okay,
Google, you find whatever you're looking for. iTunes.
That is dope.
So moving on.
Yeah. Well, you know me. I will go there. Next question I wanted to ask you is: we know there's been a pandemic, and we went through the worst of it, and now there's been a curve, or more or less what they call it, a curve. I just wanted to ask you, how have you fared during this coronavirus? Because we talk about it here, how it's affected your job, your businesses and stuff, and some of my own other streams of income has been sort of affected in a way. So how has this affected you?
I think the part of it that has affected the most is my relationship.
Relationship?
Yeah, because
Relationship. Let her finish. She was going there. Bro.
Okay, so I'll say my relationship here, because usually I do go to Nigeria often and to see my family, my friends or whatever.
Yeah.
And whatever. Right. So focus on the whatever. So obviously I've not been able to fly as much as I want to. So for me it's just the distance and all that, but I've got a regular job here, and the kind of job that I do here is you're like on the front line, so nothing is really missing, thank God. So that's it really, and for me it's just traveling really, because that's one thing that I really love doing a lot, so it's affected that. And I think that, for me as well, like I like being around people, my friends and all that. So not being able to socialize, it really just affects you sometimes.
It's a pain,
It's nice.
So how do you deal with that? How did you deal with it up until now? How were you able to maintain your sanity, so to speak?
I don't think I've been able to maintain sanity most of the time.
You're like every one of us then.
Yeah, you just pretend you got it together, but you really don't.
Just keep forging ahead.
It's just what it is. Just pretend you're good.
Okay. Well, before we started recording, we were having a chit chat and we sort of delved into the matter of mental health. And I just thought that we should sort of bring it back. I think we spoke about this on maybe our first episode.
We touch on mental health now and then.
Every now and then, but for me, it's very important to me, especially when we talk about men's health. But today, I want us to sort of talk about generally
from your own perspective,
through your eyes. Why do you think even now there's little or no information regarding mental health? Why do you think that is a thing?
Regarding mental health as a whole, or regarding mental health
as relating to men?
No, as relating to as a whole,
generally,
and as relating to men.
Well, I would say this from the point of an African, right? Now, you growing up in an African home, right? Imagine you go to your Nigerian parent and you're like, oh, I think I'm depressed. What do you think the answer would be?
They'll tell you to go and
my dear, go and sit down somewhere, go and watch TV.
They'll say it's because there's no light.
Do you understand?
And if your mom is like my mom, who is spiritual,
in Jesus' name.
Blood
In Jesus' name.
Blood of Jesus,
do you understand?
Yeah.
So I feel like coming from that place is hard to actually talk about your mental health. Because imagine you have a family full of people like that don't even believe that anything can happen.
They don't want to listen to.
They don't want to hear it.
It will be much easier if they let you at least finish saying what's bothering you. But they don't even get to that stage.
Because, the thing is, I'm cool with my mom. I talk to my mom a lot, right? But the moment, I think now she's beginning to really understand how things are. But I can bet on myself, as 10 years ago, if I said to my mom I'm depressed, she'd be like, they need depression in Jesus' name. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the typical African parent. So, it's so hard. And I think that, this is 2021. A lot of things have improved. A lot of, this is the new age. And I think that as parents are dancing with us on Instagram, doing TikTok videos, they should also understand that things like that, when it comes to your mental health, should be taken seriously. Because a lot of people don't get it until their kids commit suicide.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's coming from an African perspective. But for me, if you look around, Europe, if you look at America, if you look at the first world countries, basically, I think they are going through the same problems. Nowadays, you're having 12-year-olds committing suicide and stuff. And now, because of the pandemic, a lot of people have lost jobs, businesses have suffered. I think the government, like you said, a lot has improved. The government is trying, but I just think that they need to try harder.
They could do more.
They are not trying enough. The information is not out there. And I said something earlier, and I saw the way you looked at me somewhere, even though you later agreed that the only people that get unconditional love in this world is women, children, and dogs.
Pets,
basically.
Funny enough, I don't think I looked at you so much because when you said that, I agreed with you.
Okay. I think it was
because I know as a woman, right? Like I have a lot of male friends, and there are certain things they tell me, and I start to feel like, you know what? Maybe we actually don't pay enough attention to men. And even with myself, I've been in a situation where I dated someone and he cried because I did something to upset him. My first reaction was, why did something happen?
You know what? I think it's not even your fault. It's just inbuilt. You get what I mean? That came subconsciously.
Yeah.
You looking at him and thinking, why is he crying?
Why is he crying?
The love a man gets is measured by what he brings to the table.
Absolutely.
Which is why I say to people, the way the world is, the way the world has been from time immemorial. If you are not bringing something to the table, you will find yourself on the menu, beloved, you know?
And like with that, I think it was a year after that I had to reorientate myself. I sat down and I looked at things and I said, you know what? What I did was wrong, but it's just because I didn't know better. I've got a brother, I've got male friends, so I had to think about it. They're human beings, they're allowed to be emotional. And I don't think the society should condition men to be strong because you force strength on men so much that they are afraid to be vulnerable.
Exactly. And if I can add one thing, like you said, it's not exactly your fault. You probably been used to a system whereby you've seen men having to be strong, even though
hard guy.
You understand, big boy. Like when we first entered also, then we had some series of things that you had to do to prove yourself, to be a man. You understand? And if you didn't do those things, then it feels like you're not a man. You understand?
Society tells you.
You don't want to find yourself in that place.
Society tells you you're the head of the house.
Exactly.
Society tells you you're a provider, you're a protector. And then you find your African, side telling you that you are a king.
Yeah.
You are a warrior. Okay? Now, how does a king, warrior, provider, how does he cry? How do you, even Samson did not know how to be vulnerable. And at some point, that was the strongest man in the world.
Yeah.
So how do you expect people, if I break down, let me tell you, I broke down and I cried in front of somebody I was dating, and this person loved me at that time as much as a human could love another, but they didn't understand. I've had really close female friends when I was in uni that, we call them school mother, how we used to call them.
Yeah, of course.
And, I've been vulnerable to them and they just didn't understand how to, interpret that or how to react or how to approach. So I just feel that you get all this information. There's more information on TV right now about COVID, about, what not to do, what to do. Nothing has been even spared to think about the mental health of the people that are actually going through the pandemic. Nothing has been spent. Nobody's saying,
I don't agree with you on that. There is some effort. Let's not.
What effort?
Especially in where we live. We're in the UK.
Yes or no questions now. Yes or no questions.
Yeah.
I just want yes or no. Okay?
Yeah.
Is it true that the government of this country spent over $1 billion on PPE that did not work? Yes or no? Don't argue. Yes or no? I'm going to ask you 4 questions. Yes or no?
No, I can't say yes.
Yes or no? Please.
All right, I'll say yes because I don't know much
about it. It was in the papers. There is no. And I'm sure before they can put anything in the papers, they put the wrong. It's probably way more than that.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2, did they spend millions on contracts to their colleagues, their friends, their neighbors, their family? In case you don't know, a court actually found, what's his name?
Yeah, I heard about
This
that.
idiot, Dominic Cummings, or what's his name?
Yeah.
Guilty of awarding contracts
secretary.
to his neighbor. You know, and there are mental health departments all across this country that have been slashed due to lack of funding.
I see your point.
So for you to now tell me that,
what I'm saying is that I spend a lot when I get home, because I do happen to have insomnia so many times, you know, so I don't sleep early. From about 10 till about 2, when I'm up working on my computer, I listen to the news, just so I don't slip off, you know, in case I'm working on something important. I do often see reports about mental health, but the difference is that it's not as popular and it's not as repeated as you would find about these other topics that you're talking about, you know? Like for instance, when Trump was about to be kicked out, that was like the rave of the moment. That was what every reporter had to talk about, you know. So if you just chip in mental health, nobody was listening, you know. But that doesn't mean that report wasn't there. It was there for people that.
Do you know what they call watershed moment?
Tell me about it.
Okay. The reason why kids can only watch TV to a particular time is because, you know, like they won't show you all these gory sexual stuff, violence. Till after like I think 8 o'clock or so.
Yeah.
From 8 upwards is watershed. Yeah. Now we're talking about mental health here. Should it not be something that is shown during peak periods?
I agree with you.
You just said you see those things in the middle of the night.
That's when I watch TV. I'm always on the road.
That's what I'm saying. In the middle of the night, when half.
No, Femi.
But that's when he chooses to watch the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
They couldn't show the during the day.
Femi,
they are not doing enough.
I agree with you that they are not doing enough. But I'm just saying that
the question,
while you're crucifying, just be.
I'm not crucifying them. I'm just saying
enough to say that okay, at least there is some elements.
There's some.
Yeah, but what does that my statement? What does that my statement? I said the government is trying.
Yeah.
But they need to do what? Try
a lot more
harder. I don't want to say something that will probably cost me my job or anything. I can go down this route, I can open this door and probably go through it and you will see what I'm saying. You get me? I know for a fact that they are not trying enough.
Yeah.
So the question I want to ask Tipsy is, what do you think, you know, as a woman, what do you think is the way forward when it comes to mental health and men, you know, improving their mental health? What do you think we can do when relating to women?
To be honest, I don't know, because the only thing I will say to my male friends is, because I understand personally, you can talk to me. But I cannot tell you to do that to another female friend because she might not understand. It's about everybody's orientation and how much they allow themselves to understand. Now, if you want to speak to somebody who just looks at men as, you should be strong now, why are you crying? She'll just look at you like, just go and drink, you'll be okay. Not
little bitch.
You know what I'm saying? You'll be okay.
And actually, there are some women who, if you ask them what kind of man would you date, they want a strong man, someone who they can lean on, but it's not allowed to lean on them. You understand?
And this is what confuses me. I think a lot of women, we confuse ourselves, right? Because now everybody comes across as, I want a guy I can lean on, I want a hard guy, Now, guess what? They get into a relationship and then they start complaining. He's not emotional. He doesn't show, not even. What do you want? You want an emotional man or you want a mentally strong man that will not pay attention to you? Like, you need to choose.
That rabbit hole that you're going to is so wide. If I begin on that.
It confuses me as a woman.
Exactly, you know, I think it's just the way, it's just the nature of, I wouldn't want to say just women, even men too are guilty of that, you know. You say you want this, then as soon as you get that, you're saying, but that's not exactly what I want, you know. I could prefer.
You can't satisfy humans, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's just the short of it. Well, but coming to mental health, I think the way to shape the man of the future is just, we're growing up, you know, you've got kids, I've got kids.
Yes.
You know, when you have your kids and, you know, whoever you is in your circle, let's talk to them about these things, you know. Let them know that.
Well, I always tell my son, it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cry. Just, you know, because my daughter was, you know, making fun of him one day. I said, look, you cry like a girlie. I said, look, it's okay to cry. If you feel like crying, cry. Speak your mind. Always tell me, because we make a lot. If you notice, in the past, we make fun of the white people a lot. We tell them, oh, they treat their children as their friends, and that's why those kids lack respect in public.
Yeah,
but if you think about it, they create this safe space where their kids do not even think twice to approach them and discuss anything whatsoever. Whereas in the African communities, when we're not out walking like slaves, we believe that parental love means putting clothes on their backs, feeding them, and that is why you hear parents say it all the time. I put clothes on your back, I feed you, I send you to the most expensive school, I work so hard, but that is not love.
The amount of times that African parents make you feel guilty, about being a child.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
and then they grow up and realize that.
Like, you guys had sex. Why are you blaming?
You know what I mean? I wish I could.
No. I think it's just the way we grew up. It's the way they grew up. You understand? Their parents must have sang these songs to their heads so many times.
They are just regurgitating.
You know, sometimes I find myself saying such things, not exactly in those words, but such similar things to my kids. Then I backtrack quickly because now I'm aware, I'm conscious. A lot of people back home, like, okay, my dad came around just before the COVID, and it was like, I was seeing him talking to my mom, I overheard, and they were like, it's not like Shegun that can't discipline his kids because he loves them too much. I'm like, no, Dad, I understood all the discipline you gave me. Yes, I do. But it's just now I'm willing to try another approach. You understand? I love my dad. Who I am today, there are some certain elements of discipline that I have right now. It's because of the discipline I received from him. But I do not agree with the method he went with it. You understand? So I'm here now, I've got my own kids, I'm trying to try a new method with them, a different method, at the end of the day, it's just the approach, innit?
What I would also say is, women are not mind readers. And you're not Professor Xavier or the X-Men. You don't know what I'm thinking. As men, we also need to be able to trust. I think everything results to trust. Because if I trust you enough, as my girlfriend, or as a woman that I'm friends with, or as my wife, I should be able to come to you and say, you know what, I'm really struggling mentally. I feel so sad. But you find so many men are depressed today, and they can't say a thing. You should also, like you said, most women don't know how to react but I will still speak up. And we also need to learn to not put so much pressure on ourselves. I'll tell you what, during this COVID, I've sat down and I've thought, oh my God, some of my side businesses I've sort of struggled. I've thought to myself, what if I lose my job? And then you start having this anxiety. But since I lost both of my parents and I sort of battled a lot of depression, and then my life changed. But since then I've told myself that, look, stop worrying over situations you have no control over. My wife was telling me the other day about our projects. I said, look, there is nothing we can do. It's like a saying, an African saying that if your knife cuts your hand, if you like, take that knife, throw it in the fire out of anger, throw it in the well. The knife has done what it has done. You get me? So we need to learn to stop dwelling unnecessarily on situations that you have absolutely no control over. I don't want us to stay too long on this. I just want to tell
I hope our viewers and listeners get the message, look after your mental health, make sure you talk to someone when you can. But let's keep things spicy.
But also, I think that for women as well, I'm saying from the perspective of a woman, I think that it's high time we started actually thinking wider than what the society has confined us to think about. Do you understand?
That's a good one.
Because we are so stuck in that a man has to be strong thing. And I think that we need to be more compassionate towards men. Yes, I understand you look up to your man as your provider, but you also have to understand that he's got his weak moments and he needs love
Yep.
attention, and compassion
Yeah.
too. And please stop buying singlets and boxers.
Oh my God, we need a trophy for Tipsy. We need a trophy.
You're expecting Gucci bag and you're buying a singlet.
Oh my
Are you
God. Are you listening, guys? Are you listening? Thanks for tuning in.
It's true now. You can't expect a lot from a man and then you cannot really
Exactly. And the funniest thing is that this thing, it comes back. It's like an investment. You invest in your man, you understand? It comes back. And I don't want to support men who cheat on their women. But that's not the point here. The point is this. Imagine if your man feels confident to actually talk to you.
Of course.
You understand?
That's like your best friend. As long as you can talk about
Exactly.
anything, you can confide. Come on.
Exactly. Not like you're gonna shut him down as soon as he tries to open up. So many instances we watch soap operas when the man is trying to say something, and the man's like, yeah, and the guy's like, okay, maybe just shut up, guy. You understand? Because he doesn't want to be scolded, So it's an investment in your man, and the same thing goes for women too, Men invest in women that allowing them, express themselves. Women are very good at doing that anyways. They will tell you they are too big.
See, moving on from that, that's a very serious discussion. I want us to sort of let's unspice it a little bit. What is something that lives rent free in your head? Something that you just can't get rid of. You just think of it. Let me start. I think the fact that he's worked so hard. Do you know that Usain Bolt, the greatest athlete in the entire world, I believe is the best that ever was, is the best that is, and is the best that will ever be. Do you know that all through his career, he's only ran for 115 seconds? Because he runs the 100 meters. It's 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yeah, 100 meters race is 10 seconds. And he does it in less than 10 seconds anyway. All through his career, he's ran 115 seconds. And he's made over $120 million from it.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong profession, man.
But he trained for 20 years.
Go back.
So I just think the fact that this guy has trained for 20 years to run for 2 minutes to make 120 million, it just lives rent free. I can't just not think. It's not about the money for me. It's the fact that if it takes 20 years to train
To
do something for 2 minutes,
and you get that much
but
money.
in today's world,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
want microwave success. They want to make you get rich quick. Yeah, it lives. Yeah. So you just give us an example.
I'll tell you what. Mine is when it rains here, I expect NEPA to take the light. Okay? Because that's how it goes in Nigeria.
Electricity.
And that's what I'm saying, that's why I said NEPA, because somehow you just put yourself in that Nigerian situation. NEPA is gonna take the light. So yeah, when it rains, I just expect electricity to come. Straight.
I think for me, it would still be the fact that the expectations of friends, relatives, families in Nigeria. That's one thing that I can't
What I mean is something abstract that just lives rent. Like what she said, every time it rains, because in Nigeria, at the sound of thunder like this, the electricity goes off.
Oh.
So now she lives in the first world country. You know what I mean? So like, what is the,
I really can't think of anything.
like for me,
that
when like we live in England now, when I travel at least to the few countries I've been to, and I see them, celebrating their culture, like St. Patrick's Day, Halloween, and I sit and I tell myself that how did our ancestors, how did Europeans manage to, use Christianity to convince us that polygamy is a sin, and then homosexuality and lesbianism are human rights? I'm not saying that I have nothing against those things, but I just don't understand how have you noticed how Africans have sort of demonized their own culture, and then they go abroad and then celebrate Halloween and all that stuff, but when you hear about a New Yam festival, you totally say, oh, it's demonic and stuff. I just think that how did these people manage? And they used Christianity to do it.
Yeah,
And for me, it just lives rent. I can't stop thinking about it.
in one phrase, I think it was a tool that suited the time. You know, what I'm trying to say is
But it's
that
still happening now, though.
yeah, because it's imbibed. It's like slavery. You know, when they shackled our ancestors and all that, it was then, right? But we, the kids, were still suffering from it. You understand? It's something that I'm sure even the guys that devised that means, they didn't expect that it was gonna take forever like this to shackle us. You understand?
You see, the
It's
next
just
thing
a
we're gonna
mentality.
discuss,
It's the mentality that we have not been able to shake off as Africans. That's just the way I say it.
Another thing I think of that, I don't know, have you been to America? I know you travel a lot. Do you know that, well, you probably know, if you eat in American restaurants, unlike here, where you go and you pay the bill, they collect your card and then take it away.
Yeah.
And I think to myself that,
To the till.
it is what happens here.
I think I just
You-
pay your cash. I don't remember.
Oh, okay, you sit like we're sitting now, and when we finish eating, you sit now the waiter or waitress,
They
and
take
they'll
your
come
card.
and they'll take your card and take it away. To go make your payment. And I think,
The Nigerian on me.
you get what I mean?
My
Even
card,
that is something. Yeah, and I won't lie, I was saying, well, we're talking about something that lives rent free.
Actually, they do it here too.
They
in
don't.
some restaurant.
No,
they
in
do
those
some
posh restaurants, they don't. What they do, they bring the POS to you.
Yeah. Actually, that's
They
because
bring the POS
our
to you.
limit before was £30. Because of COVID, it's gone to 45.
No, that's what I'm
now-
saying. They bring the POS to you. You put the card
America
in.
has always had that swipe.
You put the card in.
Wherever.
And you pay.
Yeah.
But in America, and I always think that
Yeah.
maybe that's why that is the capital of credit card fraud. Because if you think about it, it's so easy.
Yeah.
And nobody's investigating or looking closely at those people that work at all those places.
Because the people
Why
who
would you
got
take
that
that
card, most of them are warded. They don't even know.
But that's the thing. Because anyone, it takes a few seconds to just take a picture of the front and the back of the card, and you're screwed.
But don't forget that most of these restaurants that operate that way, they've got CCTV as well. You know, so
No CCTV inside.
if you
inside.
investigate, they might actually find a staff who does that. I'm just saying if there's need for investigation, anyways. But so I wanted to ask you a question.
Tell me.
Just to keep it spicy a bit, you know, who are your favorite celebrity couple right now?
Couple
Yeah,
In the world,
in the
it's not an
world.
African guy.
yeah, in the world.
Oh, it's gonna be Ciara and Russell.
I knew you were going to say
I
that.
like that. I like that.
Good,
I knew you were going to say
He
that.
looks super in love with her, and she looks
Yeah.
like she loves him back too. So that's nice.
Those are the ones you know that if you hear that they break up, you will definitely sort of even though it has nothing to do with you, even though it has nothing to do with you, you kind of think that why now?
Why would you know?
That's how I felt when Kobe Bryant died. I'm like, yeah, I don't. He has nothing to do with me, but the thing just pained me for no reason, you know, like.
And who's your favorite, what's it called? How am I going to put this? I don't want to say title winner because it kind of limits it. Musicians are not title winners, really. But who's your favorite celebrity right now?
In Nigeria or
Anywhere in the world.
He is my brother, and I absolutely adore Olamide's talent. I adore how he puts everybody on. Olamide is a silent person. He doesn't go out there.
it's very-
Well, he
very
acted crazy
It's-
before.
it's just-
He has acted crazy a few times,
Well,
but then
when
he
did
went
he act
mellow
crazy?
at the Eddies Award
He needed
years
to do
ago.
that.
No, he didn't.
He needed to do
No,
that.
there was other ways.
We're not
about
gonna
it
talk
as-
about
No,
that.
I know you're passionate about him because he's your like close of
mention
industry
about that
brother.
fight.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing.
Okay.
There are ways of handling situations. It's happened in the past. He's grown out of it.
But me, I'm happy that I did that.
Thank you.
I'm happy that he did that.
I'm happy that he did that, but I'll tell you, Olamide is an amazing person in real life.
I agree.
And I just adore him. So I think that Olamide is one of those people that I completely adore, and I like Ivy Kabasa. I just like that crew. Like basically, that's me.
Okay, and who's your favorite sports person right now?
I'm not into sports, so I don't.
You don't follow any kind of. I'm not Anthony Joshua, not Serena Williams, not even Tiger Woods. Golf? No? Yeah, okay.
It's not my thing.
Alright.
Yeah. I was reading something last week, and the news story said researchers have found evidence that a group of still unknown humans were interbred with our ancestors. So basically, they found ghost lineage. No. Hear me out. This is where I'm going to. And when I read that, I looked at my wife. No, hear me out. When I read it, I looked at my wife and I said, should we tell them? Because as Africans, you know that from our ancestors, a lot of Africans, Nigeria, as an example, we're sort of moving closer towards, we copy everything from Europe, but we're still deeply entrenched in spirituality. And I don't want to ask if you believe in ghosts or not, but let me give you a story that will make you understand where I'm coming from. I used to have this friend when I was in uni. I think, did you go to Osutu? Okay. When I went to Osutu State University in Nigeria for my first degree, I have this very close friend of mine. We did almost everything together. We were so close. But you know what normally happens when people leave university and then you sort of lose touch. And after about 6 or 8 months, this guy is a twin. His twin brother called me. I was sleeping that day and he called me to say, oh no, this friend of mine called me to tell me that how come we've lost touch and all that stuff, how come we don't keep in touch anymore, what really happened, we're so close and all that stuff. And then I apologized and we talked and he told me what he wanted to do because he wanted to be a footballer. It was so good then. And we have about 10-15 minutes to talk. We cut the call. 3 hours or 4 hours later, that same day in the evening, his twin brother called me to tell me that, he knows how close I was to his twin, that's why he's just calling me really, just to invite me to his burial, because apparently I died about 3-4 weeks before.
And you spoke to that person?
I spoke to him that afternoon. And how I know I wasn't dreaming was this. That was when Nokia E17 came out. I don't know if you remember that, the spec of that phone. That phone, you can record incoming and outgoing calls.
Yeah.
That phone. I did not know, I'd forgotten. Because people say, "I put your landline, you know African." They say, maybe you dreamt it, or maybe your body just, I said, I didn't dream. How would I dream? I remember all the conversation we had on the phone now. Like 2-3 days after, I don't know what I was looking for on that phone. And I just saw that app that records that, automatically records incoming, and I clicked on it, and I played everything. And that was when I fell sick. So you see, these things happen. I generally believe that, our ancestors tell us that when people die untimely, their souls do not transcend immediately. They sort of wander the earth. Because a cousin of mine told me one thing. When she used to be in boarding school with our younger brother, and they were in school one day. I've heard so many stories about stuff like that actually, where people will be in boarding school and then one of their parents will come and visit them unexpectedly, say, I just thought I was doing something nearby. I just thought I should just come check on you guys. Blah blah blah. This is provision. This is money and all that stuff. Meanwhile, somebody else will come that same day or the next day tell that their dad or their mom had died like weeks ago. You know that kind of stuff. So it's even though I heard those stories, the one that happened to me, really was like an eye opener. So I just want to know where do you stand on stuff like that? Are you full on? Hip hop, civilization, and pop culture and all that stuff, or do you tend to believe in stuff like that?
No matter how much of a civilized person I am, I still believe deeply in my African roots. I still believe in a lot of things like ghosts and all that because, as much as a lot of the Yoruba movies that are out there are meaningless, right? There are still some that you watch and you're like,
it makes sense.
This makes sense. It means that things like this happen. That's why they could make a movie about it, right? So definitely, I believe in ghosts because yes, I do hear things that people tell me about it, and I don't think it's a big deal to me because that's how I grew up, knowing that they exist, knowing that some people don't fully go.
Have you had any personal experience?
I don't want to.
Like that's the one I said.
I don't want to myself.
because you see, there's what happened again in 2016, and I really didn't want to include that in the story, but let's leave it because this was really, really personal. When my mom passed away, and being her only child, it fell on me to organize, burial and everything. So I left this country and I went to Nigeria and I was putting things in place. So I had to start contacting, everyone that I could remember. It was really hard. And I couldn't go to Nigeria to bury her till 3 weeks after she passed away. Her body was left in the mortuary. So we had the burial 3 weeks after she passed away and all that stuff. And then I came back to the UK. Then as I was going through my phone, I left because everybody knows when you're going to Nigeria, you don't take your most precious phone to Nigeria.
You're not bringing it back.
I have this like thing that I bought specifically for that. And when I'm traveling, I take that with me because of police palaver. And when I came back, I went on my phone and then I was looking through the numbers and there was this big auntie. We call her big auntie. She's like an auntie to my mom. And I realized that she didn't even come to bed. I didn't tell her because she lives in Kano, far away. So I called her and said, well, I'm so sorry, I was unable to contact you, blah, blah, blah. This is what has happened. My mom passed away, blah, blah, blah. We buried her. I'm so sorry. Sleep my body. And then I just heard people screaming at the others, on the line. She had fainted. And then they rushed her to the hospital. And I kept calling. And it was later that our son called me to let me know that it's unbelievable that my mom came to spend the whole weekend with them. And she had passed away. This was weeks after she passed away. Yeah. That she came to their house and she came to the house Friday evening, she spent Saturday, Sunday, and
I'm gonna start calling everybody that comes to my house like, yo, I need to call their family members.
This thing I'm telling you, this woman spent a long time in the hospital because she had mental breakdown.
Of course.
Because it was hard for it was just hard to come to terms with words. Like even me hearing it, because I've had examples and I've had people who will say, I saw this person at the market, and this is somebody we know that have died. But it was shocking to me because this was my mom that I saw her body, I put it in the ground myself, and it really is just one of those things. I believe in those deep spiritual.
Not to weird you guys out, but in my own life, I actually lost 3 family members. My siblings, my elder brother, my younger brother, my younger
sister. That's true. Yeah.
One's a sickle cell, and the other's mysteriously.
Sorry for your loss, bro.
I would do anything to get that kind of a moment with them.
Yeah, but you see, I used to tell myself, was it King Saul in the Bible that went to pay money for them to resurrect the spirit of his mother just so he could have a moment? And you saw what happened to him later. He got punished, he ran mad, even God punished him. But I'm not putting Christianity, I'm not putting religion into it. But I just think that I would not want to have that. I always tell myself that I would give anything to just have 5 minute conversation with my mom. But you see, there's always a fallout.
Yeah,
there's a fallout because if you have mental breakdown, what comes after that?
What happens?
You get what I mean? What comes after that? So we've waited ourselves out enough. Let's go to the real gist here that I've been waiting for. Tipsy's explaining. I want to play something and then we will delve into it. Let's just hear something. It's for less than a minute. You will know who it is when it starts speaking. Just hear me out. I don't even know if this
Signals. It's complete lies, which is which it always is, basically, which is a shame. But, it's something I'd love to do, and, now I've had the chance once, I suppose I've got quite into it. And at the end of the day, if you join the army, you expect to go on operations. I don't want to sit around at Windsor because I just generally don't like England that much, and it's nice to be away from all the press.
Let me just remind you slowly. Hear this. Just hear this.
Is that right? Too big. Keep their mouths shut. Enjoy getting stuck.
Hear this.
Which is which it always is, basically, which is a shame. But it's something I'd love to do, and now I've had the chance once, I suppose I've got quite into it. And at the end of the day, if you join the army, you expect to go on operations. I don't want to sit around at Windsor because I just generally don't like England that much, and it's nice to be away from all the press and the papers and the general shite that they write.
Now, that is Prince Harry.
While he was in the army.
This is not the Oprah interview, mind you. Now, see, this interview was when he was a teenager. This was years before he met Meghan Markle. You heard it in his own words, saying he does not like to stay in England, right? But it's just, I want to hear a woman's perspective on this because we briefly glanced through it some episodes ago. I just say, why do you think so many people in this country dislike this woman? Why do you think they are putting all the blame? Because it's the usual thing where people say, oh, she's turned his back against his family, she's the reason why he doesn't want to leave. in the royal palace. She's the reason why he's doing this. She's the reason why do you think that the British people, the English people, why do you think they have this outlook on this woman?
First of all, what I think is, I think that racism exists in this country, but it's low key.
Yeah.
They do it in such a nice, subtle, shady way.
I think what you want to say is you think this is deeply entrenched in racism. Mind you, they were like this with Princess Diana too, and she was white.
Let me finish. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one, because you will realize the moment they started dating, they started bringing up backstories about her, blah blah blah.
Just to destroy that.
Just to make her have like a negative outlook and all that. So that's one. Number two, because they're really afraid to face the actual person who has his own opinions on how he doesn't. They're looking for someone to blame. It's convenient
for them to
blame
put it all
her.
on her.
It's just a convenient excuse, because see someone like Piers Morgan and how much he
I was coming to that, you know.
Like you would think they have like a personal
obsession. Do you know what angers me? The excuse now is that Prince Philip is sick and they are going, continuing with this Oprah interview. And I just think,
what has that got to do?
They don't even get. I don't think this is a man that survived First World War. This man survived Second World War. But it is Oprah interview that will kill him. They didn't have this much energy.
Everybody
for a prince, for the other guy that was wanted by the FBI.
It's just a convenient, exactly.
Everybody knows.
It's a convenient excuse. It's a convenient.
And also everybody knows
accused of being a pedophile.
Has always been a controversial person.
No, it's not about being controversial. This guy, he has pursued this woman endlessly. Mm-hmm. You know what guys do? Because I heard a rumor that he invited her to a dinner or something years ago, and she sort of politely turned him down. And since then, he's been out to get her. And I just think it's one thing that some guys do where they try to get a woman's attention and just says, "Oh no, I'm not interested," and they'll be like, "Yeah, little bitch." Mm-hmm. All of a sudden she's become a bitch to you, and I think it's quite immature. And I think this guy, something needs to be done. I find it a bit creepy.
It is because when you check his Twitter, like the way he attacks her is too much, and then I just start to ask, like, is it like you ask this lady out, or like, what is this annoying behavior? It's too much. Can I ask a question? Is there a difference between being in a relationship and dating?
Oh yeah, of course there is. Because well, the way I see it, don't let us take it back to the uni days, or so many people were in relationships but they were still dating. As a woman. And I think there's a bit of what do you call it here? Double standard involved. Because women are allowed, if you're not in a relationship with anyone, you're allowed to date different people.
Of course.
Because if you date different people, it's from there that you can decide
who you want to be in a relationship.
There you go.
Yeah.
But when you're in a relationship, okay, now let me ask you, when you're dating all those people, are you in a relationship with them? No. Does anything sexual happen while you are dating those people?
Why are you asking?
No, from the perspective of a woman, isn't it?
But even sexual doesn't determine.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're in a relationship with someone, the way you move is different.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you know why I asked you that? Because I think 2 weeks ago, my Twitter, right? I went, I miss my guy. I'm dating, but I'm not in a relationship. We are dating, but if either of us find someone that makes them happy, then we're free to go.
Yeah.
And people kept commenting like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I think it's because in a relationship, there are certain commitments that come with it. Mm-hmm. Not marriage now.
Of course.
Relationship. Mm-hmm. But let me give you an example. I was in a relationship with someone for close to 5 years when I was in uni, back in those days. But then, when I left school, and I left her in school, she met someone else, sort of went with that person, and it really helped me at the time. But it took me years to realize that I could see clearly, and I didn't blame her. But the only thing I blamed her for was how she went about it, because she could have ended the relationship with me.
Yeah.
And instead of me finding out that way. But when you're in a relationship, you're expected to move differently. Mm-hmm. But when you're dating,
Yeah, because I kind of feel like I need people to know this, that there's a difference between dating and being in a relationship.
Oh, there is.
Obviously, when you're dating, you could be dating 3 people at the same time. It means that you probably just enjoy their company, you're going out for food.
Of course. And having
You're
sex with them.
Thank
Yeah, of course.
you.
Yeah.
So don't start like, oh yeah, man, come on now. I just get so.
Okay, let me ask you. This guy you're talking of, your man that you're talking of, that you put on Twitter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Are you in a relationship with him or you're dating?
We're dating.
You're just dating.
Then
there's no problem.
They were dating because.
No, seriously. No. Let me see. I don't see anything wrong in this, honestly, because you're not in a relationship with him. You're dating.
Okay, so.
As you're dating him, you could be dating other people.
Of course, because to me, I feel like, okay, like I really like this person, right? I know that he likes me too, but I feel like when you say that you're in a relationship with someone, there's certain sort of commitment, right? It might not be marriage, but at least there's a plan of being together or something. Do you know what I mean? There's just something like a bit more commitment than, oh, we're just dating, like I like you, okay, I like you too. So where are we going with this? I don't know, let's just go with the flow.
That's more or less like being in an open relationship.
Open relationship.
Yeah.
So
And also, I think dating is the part where you're supposed to get to know the person, if they are into you and if you're into them, and if you share, you know, the things that might qualify you guys for a relationship.
but then, like, I think Nigerian Twitter do not understand because you know there's a difference in Nigerian Twitter
Oh, yeah.
and the rest of the world.
and the rest of the world.
I think it has to do with the mentality.
Orientation.
Yeah, because I've been seeing more and more situations
Even
now.
in Nigeria, we never talk about dating. I mean, I grew up in Nigeria. I spent most of my life.
Nigeria just believes some
You
people
don't
met
date,
somebody
you don't date.
together.
Once you approach someone, you're talking.
Oh
they
my
don't-
God, because you know I had.
And when they see you try to date somebody else, like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Exactly.
You know, I had this conversation with a friend yesterday, right? Because okay, the conversation we had was we used to spend a lot of time on the phone talking. Like he would call me, cool. And then his friend says to him, he never said to me that he liked me. He never said anything like that. Then his friend came and went, I want her phone number. I like her. Didn't do that. Guess what he does?
Nah,
He gives his friend
Oh, it did.
my number.
totally
Oh, okay.
ignores you. Finally.
Aha, he didn't ignore me.
Yeah.
No, yeah, right? Okay, so I met his friend and I liked his friend. So what happens? Oh, but did you not know that I liked you? Excuse me. Why did you not open your mouth?
Why did
we
you-
used to talk and he goes,
And the funny thing is, even if you had opened his mouth,
This
he would have said,
happens a lot.
his
and
friend.
I'm like, and I just said, he said to me, he said, oh, listen, because I'm a grown man and in
I expect you to
my
know.
grown up years,
I expect you to feel the
I
vibes.
expect you to know. I don't feel like
We
I
cook
should.
together and we eat
Do you know
now.
what I mean?
I've taken you to lunch twice now. You should go where you should So I'm spending all this money and you didn't know that you're my girlfriend.
It's like, oh, you know, in my adult years, I've never had to ask a girl out and say, oh, I like you, would you be my girlfriend? I was like, so
Yeah.
exactly how do you, like,
But what you need to understand is that has to do with upbringing. It's the African effect. I would call it the African effect.
Right.
Because even in today's society, even with the well-learned people, if you go to Nigeria today, and if you meet someone, say, I've gone to an eatery with him, and I met you there, hey, hello, how you doing? Join us for lunch. And we've had lunch. Can I exchange numbers? Fine. Can we, and then I call you up one day, I'm hungry, I'm interested in dinner, and we meet here, or I'll come pick you up. And we do 2, 3 of that. In the mindset of Africans, we're already dating.
You're in a relationship.
And then if I see you with someone else,
You're confusing.
we are set for marriage. We are my future wife.
That's just
Then
mad.
when they see you with someone else, man, that girl is a bitch.
Oh my God, thank you. Because I feel like, yeah, because what I think.
And it's not just girls too, it happens with guys. It happened to me
Yeah.
several times when I was in Osu. I used to be friends with a lot of girls. And as soon as I see their friends, you know, and I like their friends, I'm like,
Let me tell you what happened to me. Let me tell you what happened to me. Similar, something like this. Where I used to live, there's this girl there. And it's not as if she's not pretty, but you know when you live with someone, and that it's just not there for me. But she's so nice. She would cook for us, take care of all the boys in the hostel, and all that stuff. But me, I didn't know that in her head. We are already set for marriage. So when she sees me bring my girlfriend there,
Oh, she'll be boiling.
she's and I just know that her attitude will change, but I'm like, what's
good.
up? Are
Yeah.
you okay? And then she'll be like, me. I brought somebody. I'm like, sorry.
When did we get
You know,
into a
and I realized
relationship?
that this is the issue.
Please, I hope you're recording this part because I need to put this part of my Instagram. See, yeah?
We are.
I am begging you in the name of God, if you like me, come with your full chest and say, Tipsy, see, this is how I feel about you. We're not sitting over the fence. We're not doing all. We just like each other. We're talking, and then you start expecting me to be loyal to your silence.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You have to open your mouth.
Like I said earlier, women are not mind readers. I mean, let's just say people are not mind readers. So this works both ways too.
I think you were having a live conversation with someone. Was he? I've forgotten this guy. I think I joined the live for a few minutes, so, and he was saying something like this recently, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And like it's the truth. Like I feel like if you like someone, yeah, just be straight with your intentions. Like, hey, babe, listen, I like you. Let's just go with the flow. It's not like I have anything planned. You understand that? Like blah 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 blah. Now it's up to the girl to say yes, I want to go with it, or I don't want to go with it. But if you're sure of what you want, I want to be in a relationship with you. That's cool. Come on, say that. But it's not like you will talk to me, you will go on and off, and then you expect me to know that we're in a relationship where you never said anything about it.
You know what? I think Tipsy has been looking for an avenue to come out with this, and she's utilizing this properly because the way she just going in, like, she said, I beg you in the name of God.
Listen, yeah, because if you want to catch cruise and vibes, there's a time for that as well. So, you know, I have a time of the year that I want to catch cruise and vibes, and I have a time that I want to be with someone. Do you understand? So, if you know that you don't actually, just please be honest. We're all adults. Like, there's no point.
Have you seen this new Coming to America?
No.
Yeah, people have sort of bashed it, kind of, but I don't know.
I saw reviews about it, but
yeah, I've seen it. I saw it yesterday, and the only thing I would say is it's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's actually funny, but they could have
done better.
They could have done better in some aspects. But yeah. What movie have you seen recently that you really would like to do, that you think people should see?
Do you know what? I can't even lie. I haven't seen anything recently. Because it's just been work, sleeping, uni. I haven't had time to watch anything.
What do you do for work?
I work in the NHS. I talk shit.
You know what I like about this girl? You know what? I'll tell you this though, and I don't mind saying it on camera.
She's down to earth.
Yeah, so down to earth. So like, you know,
you need to watch
I understand free vibes. I watch your Instagram. Let me add you now. What's your Insta so that people can add you? I beg.
Tipsy and no.
Tipsy and no. I think I've already added that, to be honest. Is it Tipsy as in T?
S-Y.
S-Y. Tipsy.
As in when you're tipsy.
Tipsy and no. I think okay, you are Tipsy. I already added you, say.
What's your thing?
See you.
I'm
just Femi Anthony. Is this just outside our gate or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tipsy.
I mean, she's down to anyways. I mean, you're hearing it, viewers, man. If you're in love with someone, at least
come
and say, you know, even if you're not sure what you feel is love, but you have, you know, feelings for them, you know, just say, you know.
So
rather than just assume that person is ready to, you know, swear an oath with you.
Yeah, because you know, like, I'm not even gonna lie, right? Like, I feel like, because I've been in that situation, and it actually hurt me because it put me in a situation where I could have lost somebody that I cared about because of us not defining. Do you understand? It's like that kind of thing where we talk to each other, we know we like each other, but you've never said anything about, oh, this is where I want you to be in my life, but then, you know, you see me with someone else and you get upset. So then I'm in a position where I'm like, do I owe him an explanation? Do I not? Like, it's like, what do I do?
Do you think it could be that person was biding their time to see if they would actually step up? You know, because sometimes you're sure, but not exactly sure. Exactly, not everybody can walk up to a lady and, you know, start shooting their shot immediately.
But if you've been friends for like so long, you talk every day, you talk so much.
I will tell you why.
Okay.
When we've been friends for like, say 2 years now. But me, I know I'm feeling about you. Now I've now suddenly maybe I went out with Sky and I took 2-3 shots of petrol or whatever. Now I've mustered up the courage to say tonight I'm gonna tell her. Let me tell you, all those 2 years, you need to understand, I've envisioned sucking your breast. I've envisioned doing things to you already. That's meant for you. Now, for me to now come to you and say, you see, it's not like all this while being friends, I've always admired you, you're my kind of blah blah blah, and I think there's a connection there, and I want us to, take it a step further. Now, when you say no, you know how men deal with rejection. Even the best of men, they might not show it. But now, it might not be awkward from your perspective, like Sky said, you're right. But for me, I'm thinking, now she knows that I've been thinking of sucking her breast. So all this while, that time she was sick and I put her head on my shoulder, I've been thinking of all those stuff. See, when I was in uni, there's this girl, Biola, she would change in front of me. Because she knows the sort of level where we did with our close friends. We are so, she tells me about her boyfriend. I will be now that she will be in ordinary panties and all that. It was not awkward or anything. But imagine me now telling her that, you know what, I've always fancied you, to be honest. So she'll be like, so all this while I felt comfortable with this guy, being that he's my best friend. That breast is being seen and you sucking it.
And
you know what I mean?
You know the thing is, right? Like, obviously,
I like breast now.
You're focused on the sucking breast part.
No, I'm just using that just to be funny. But the thing is, don't lie to yourself. I don't want that to forget. Before you say this, let me tell you. I don't want that to forget. Your best friend right now, your male friend, your best male friend.
Yes.
You think if you're fine pussy, you won't take
Let me
it?
tell you something. You see, half of my male friends, most of them like me, and I know that. But somehow, we get past that.
But do you still know if you're fine pussy, they'll take it?
Of course, I know you will
She
take
just
it.
said they like
I know that. But there's a way we get through this conversation. Do you understand? It takes two people that really still want to stay friends to get through this phase. And for me, it's not like if you say to me, babe, see, I really like you. I feel like I'm way towards you. The first thing I'm thinking in my head, for a guy, you're thinking, I want to suck your breast. Me, in my own head, is more emotional, like, oh, maybe because I will see myself as an emotionally intelligent person, and I think of both people's thoughts.
Just so you know, I was joking with the soft breast thing because this episode has been too serious.
It's okay.
But I'm just telling you that. Okay, look at it this way. Look at it this way. Is sex part of the relationship or not? Whichever which way you want to look at it.
It is.
So for any guy that has that wants to be emotionally involved with you, at some point he has thought about it.
Yeah.
If there's somebody who's free, and the question that I was going into based on what you've said, that there's a way you sort of maturely move past the awkwardness is. If you were someone like my friend back in those uni days, that used to just feel free to undress and stuff in front of me, the moment I say those things and we move past those things, we used to be able to do that. You can't.
No,
That's why. Because the awkwardness is now there.
Because obviously from that point,
Because so this guy is cool.
so then I would probably be more careful about things that I do around you. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even want to bring my boyfriend around you because I feel like he's going to offend you, it will hurt you. So then, somehow, it's just common sense how to do it.
I think at the end of the day, it's about taking a risk in it. You want something so bad, take a risk. If it's no, then you find a way to deal with it at that point.
Yeah.
Quick one, what do you feel about the current state of, entertainment industry in Nigeria as opposed to in the UK, Nigeria,
I feel that obviously entertainment in Nigeria is flourishing. It is what it is. And entertainment in the UK is not as much as...
I'm talking from the Nigerian perspective.
Yeah. Nigerian entertainment in the UK.
In the UK, there are a lot of talented artists in the UK. Yeah, there's Mo Logo, there's On the B, there's Toby Gray, there's all these people in the UK, right? But it's the platform. And I'll tell you what I don't really understand about the entertainment industry in the UK. They see us. Yeah. They know that we're here.
Yeah.
But guess what? When they want to do shows, they run to Nigeria to go bring the big artists in Nigeria and blah, blah, blah. Now, they use the UK ones. I understand if you say, yes, to open the shows, they use them as supporting artists. Now, the worst part of it is saying to someone, because I've heard this before, but thankfully, the people that have put me on that platform have never asked me to sell tickets or whatever. I don't think it's fair for you to say to an artist, oh, you need to sell so amount of tickets for you to be on the show. You've never heard that before?
I've never heard that.
They do that.
Wow. Okay.
Which is quite unfair. Because guess what? So you think that when I blow tomorrow, you think it's your show I will come to? Because I will remember how you made an ass of me when I was coming up. Because all you could have just done was give me an opportunity to showcase myself. Why are you asking me to sell tickets?
At the end of the day, it's about promoters supporting
Artists.
Which,
we need
in
each
the end
other.
of the day, you know, that fosters a good relationship. And at the end of the day, when you get your own stage, you're rocking your stage and all that, you can then remember that.
Of course, because.
But at the end of the day, don't forget that there's still some ingrates who destroys the intentions of people. You know, understand? You know, when so many times people have invested in people and they end up.
A lot of things go wrong. It's not. It might not. You know, business is a funny thing, right? And even if it was an entertainment business is still business, and business goes funny sometimes because one person decides to act shady.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, like for me, one person that I'll continue to say thank you to is someone called Alex Ozone. Like he's been there from the beginning. My first set of promo CDs, he printed with his money and stuff like that. And you know, we are not as close as we used to be personally, but I will always say to him, yo, you have a spot in my life because you put me on when nobody else saw that. You know what I'm saying? The foundation. So if I start to eat right now, that's who's going to eat. Not someone who's asking to sell ticket to be on the show. Do you understand that? So it's that simple. And I think that they overlook a lot of UK artists. It's not that they don't put in work. Also because they don't really understand okay, for me, it's not like I don't have materials, but I decide not to release materials because I look at it and I'm like, okay, so how am I going to actually promote these materials? What's the point? It's going to end up on YouTube and die on YouTube. So what's the point of wasting my material? As compared to when you're in Nigeria, there are, I was going to swear, but let me swear, shitloads of TV channels, radio, you know, music, whatever, that can
actually
stuff out there.
So what do you think, like if somebody came to you now and said, okay, we're trying to bridge the gap, okay, what do you think are the ways to better improve, you know,
that relationship?
To be honest, I don't know. If you ask me, I don't know, because you know why I said I don't know.
Because most people that I know, they live here to go to Nigeria to blow, and it shouldn't be that way.
Thank you.
Ask me.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know because obviously there are Nigerian radio channels here, and thankfully there are people like Femi TV who's been supportive of a lot of people's careers. He puts you on and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, how many Nigerians in the UK really watch Ben TV?
That's the thing.
Let's be honest. So if that was the main platform to show your thing, you still wouldn't get, you know, as compared to when you're in Nigeria, you've got Trace TV, MTV, Hip TV, that TV, you go to restaurants, that's what it's showing. Everybody gets to know you one way or the other. And now, thankfully, there's internet. But now...
I was just coming to that. I was going to say you won't agree with me, but the internet now, anyone can just make music.
Anyone can make music, but when you're in Nigeria, it makes it bigger.
The audience is there.
The audience is there in Nigeria because they know how to promote their own stuff in Nigeria. But here it's a whole different level. If you're using the UK promote on Instagram, pay to promote that. It's just it's too technical. You know what I'm saying? It's too long. As compared to when someone like Zlatan uploads or Slim K. So there's all this, you know. So it's very different. It's like two different worlds.
You don't sound too pleased with the current state of things.
I'm not, because it just makes you give up. Like, apart from myself,
you're not the first person telling me this.
I look at other people that are so talented and I'm just like, why doesn't this person have a platform? It's just how it is.
That's true. Yeah, we have to round up now. Any last
words, thoughts, you know?
I just want to say that to the person that
Go on. Why I said go on. She was about to preach.
Yeah, because I was actually I wasn't gonna say nothing. But I might as well say anyway. See it, please. Just putting this out there. If you like me and you want to be in a relationship with me, please just say it.
I beg, shoot
so
your
that we
shots.
stop fighting.
Shoot your shots.
Just sit.
I'm good.
It's okay. It's so good.
You've heard it from Tipsy.
Shoot your shots.
Thank you. Should we even, maybe that should be, because I was going to make the episode title, It Gets Tipsy. You know?
Yeah.
But this shoot your shot. Till we see you again in the next episode. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to cancel that free trial today before it expires. Alright? Stay safe. Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.